Wednesday, August 23rd, and here we go on what is, without a doubt, the nicest day of the calendar year so far in San Francisco. It is gorgeous outside. It is blue sky and sunny in my neighborhood, and I live right in the middle of the fog belt, so if it's sunny in my part of the city, downtown must be having a Chamber of Commerce level afternoon, so sundress conditions for all. Hello and welcome. What are you doing inside watching this? Go outside by the old oak tree and read a book, for goodness sakes. But thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Right away, I see the skills report is saying, I'd like to be the first to say good morning, Plusers. And indeed, good morning to all of you. It's going to be an effervescent day. I like that. I like that. Let's go with that. An effervescent day. Everyone have a good effervescent day today. All right. They're feeling a little effervescent and frisky down in Santa Clara. At least that was the report yesterday, which led to the thumbnail that maybe brought you here today, because fighting's good mostly on an NFL field as teams are getting sick and tired of seeing each other at training camp each and every day. You know, training camp fights happen really 2 times a year. At the beginning of training camp, when everyone's trying to establish themselves. I've always said, if you're going to prison, you're going to want to get into a prison yard fight on the very first day, just to let people know you're not messing around. Like I heard that Jack, my 4-year-old, he got into a little fight on his first day of school, or first day of daycare. He's not even in school yet. But a part of me as a father was like, no, son, that's wrong. You don't do that. And another part of me as a father was like, yes, way to establish yourself as a dominant presence in the new school. So it's weird. You got a whole bunch of people at the beginning of training camp fighting, and then a whole bunch of unfinished, stacked up, waiting to bubble over business. Means you get a whole bunch of fights at the end of training camp too, when guys are really starting to see how they might not make the roster. They need to pop on that film one more time. Look, Jordan Mason and Diamador Lenore apparently needed to be separated because the fight got a little real. Matt Barrows was reporting that full punches were being thrown. Fantastic. That means we're almost ready to achieve Yeah. Don't tell me violence doesn't solve things. It certainly solved World War II, and it's something that you're going to want to bring to the party as soon as football begins for real. Again, this is for big, nasty people with bad intentions, and the cream starts to rise to the top right about here. Now, Kyle Shanahan said that there is nothing to be worried about on the Nick Bosa front. Okay, if my negotiations as a GM with a player this obvious and important to the team were going on this long, I would probably take to the podium and tell you that, yeah, this is all operating the way I thought it was going to. Every step you're seeing is a step that I anticipated and planned for, because that would make me look good. Look, I have told you that the deal with the 49ers, if you're a 49er fan, it's simple. Here's the deal. In Kyle Shanahan, you trust. Like, I don't know how you get out of bed feeling any other way as a 49ers fan, because this guy runs the entirety of the operation. So it feels like the right thing for him to say, and all I can tell you is that he better be telling the truth. Kyle Shanahan, the general manager, doesn't have much time to be jerking around with talking to negotiations and agents right now to get a deal done that should be an easy deal to get done. He needs to coach a football team. He needs to get ready for Pittsburgh, which is right around the corner. Bosa, meanwhile, is in New York City. He has revealed his own location on an Instagram account. Look, it's hard to be further away from San Francisco and still be in the continental United States than being in New York. But if that's where his agent is, maybe this is the negotiation. It's all happening, 11th hour. All right. The truth is, I have been, at the forefront of telling you that training camp doesn't matter. And for players of Bosa's ilk, it matters even less. But you do want to see some actual football get underneath this guy's cleats before any football season starts for real. And that is not going to happen. Kyle Shanahan was just asked in his press conference with the media yesterday why he's going to be playing some of his starters again Friday night against the Los Angeles Chargers. And here's what Kyle had to say. I'm quoting him. "It's all about having guys ready to play real football. And there's so much that goes into mentally being ready, physically being ready. You can't have any hesitation in this game. When week one starts, people see that, and you can lose games very fast just by being a little bit off. You kind of build that with experience over your career. I've had guys that I've sat for entire preseasons, and they've fumbled on their first play when they get in, and then you kick yourself in the butt for it. It's just like, what was I doing? I've also played guys, and they get hurt, and you're like, what the hell was I thinking?" It is the yin and yang of when to and not to play in the preseason. Here's the deal. If that applies to everyone on the team, it has to also apply to Nick Bosa, does it not? Like, you don't want to get a guy like that hurt. But again, there's no element of a snap of football that'll ever be played where you might get hurt isn't baked into that pie. It's a main ingredient, as a matter of fact. So you really can't go about worrying about it. It's just part of doing business. It really is. It's part of doing business. You could get hurt. The other part of doing business, as he's saying, is getting guys ready, and he believes that you can't really be ready with no real live snaps underneath you. Again, tick-tock on Nick Bosa. They can continue to pretend that this is normal all the way through, all that they want. They can continue. Kyle can continue. John Lynch can continue to say all the right things at the podium about this is all that they anticipated. That doesn't make what Kyle said about the importance of getting some preseason snaps under your belt any less true. So, again, the deal that was time to get done a long time ago, the time to get it done is absolutely right now as well. Nick Bosa is going to go into the upcoming season naked. I mean, there's no other way to say it. He will have no snaps of any real significance other than we're at a training camp. This is practice level walkthrough. And that's a great way for a guy like Nick Bosa to experience a little pull, a little ding, a little nick. I'm worried. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. There's nothing about Nick Bosa's conditioning that makes me worried about him. But not being football ready is, I believe, a concern for any football player. And you can't get football ready without playing a little football. That's just how it works. You can be in the greatest shape of your life. Football only vets actual football. There's no other way to get ready for it. You got to play in this league. A million Trey Lance fans are like nodding in agreement. Another thing that Kyle Shanahan also said that I thought was really interesting, Larry Krueger was asking him about, all right, so the reality is you're going to carry all three of these quarterbacks. Are you going to be announcing a weekly backup quarterback, just assuming it's Purdy as the one the entire way through? Are you going to be rotating backup quarterbacks? And Kyle Shanahan basically said, yeah, that's what I will be doing. It's going to be Darnold one week. It'll be Trey Lance the next. I wonder if that has to do with who you're using as a scout quarterback, getting ready necessarily. If Trey would help the scout team and the defense prepare for a more mobile quarterback than on weeks where a more stationary quarterback might be better represented on the scout team from a guy like Sam Darnold, and that means all of a sudden Trey Lance is your 2, not your 3. It's going to be odd to see a rotating backup, but that is the world that the 49ers have moved into, and it looks like that's going to be the world that they're living in. I want to thank my sponsors as always. We begin with Ike. Appreciate Ike so very, very much. And you're going to appreciate the new sandwiches that he's offering. Premium sandwiches called the Arrow and Florin. And Florin, even though she's a vegetarian, she's freaking delicious. She really is. It's a delicious sandwich. The Wagyu pastrami sort of speaks for itself. I don't think I need to sell that to you. The Florin's a magnificent sandwich. Even though it's vegetarian, I almost wouldn't even know it. I can't believe I'm saying nice things about a vegetarian sandwich, but here I am. That is a magnificent creation from my friend Ike. Go try it yourself and find out yourself. Or, any Any of the other magnificent sandwiches that he offers are really nice options too. Thank you so much to Uncle Boys. I want you to go by and stop by this Inner Richmond Original. Get yourself a burger to go. Get yourself lumpia. Pick up the onion rings. You'll be awfully happy that you did. A great burger to hit the road with. Get back home. It's Uncle Boys. Get yourself one, Inner Richmond, and get yourself a bottle of Blackened. Look, it's almost the Giants are collapsing. You need some liquor at home. You're going to need some Blackened whiskey. Go ahead and pick some up at Bevmo or wherever you purchase your fine liquors. And if they're not carrying Blackened at your preferred liquor store, ask them to. They will probably accommodate you. Tell them the Plus Army is big and strong, and it's loyal. It does things to help out the sponsors. So thank you all so very much. Thank you to my sponsors. And look, all I can tell you, if you are a Giants fan, you probably do need a stiff drink. Kyle Harrison, there's absolutely no doubt. He can hump it up there. I mean, he's got a real live arm on him. He can throw it at his effortless gas to the plate. A lefty with a little bit of a hesitation move in his delivery. Really enjoyed watching him. He throws arrows up there. He does. He is going to be a good pitcher. What I don't like is 65 pitches. Like, that's it? That's it? Like, you babied him down in the minor leagues. You're going to be babying him here while you're bringing him up to get you through a pennant race. Again, I wouldn't have done that, but you chose to do that. And on a day where you got your most important pitcher in your organization in terms of a prospect, you're going to allow him only 65 pitches. And look, he was as advertised. He was a strikeout machine with an ERA that has been about 4-ish all year long. And you know, he serves up the home run, couple of hits, you know, no shame in any of that. But what you saw, this massive strikeout artist who allows some crooked numbers, is what you saw in his major league debut. 65 pitches, though? Like, feel free to allow a pitcher to pitch. You know what I mean? Like, this whole babying and pampering of pitchers just drives me nuts. 65 pitches. You should be settling into your start around 65 pitches. You want to go ahead and get him out of there at the 90 pitch mark. You don't want him to see 100. All right. I want to crap on that too, but I guess I agree with it on some level of, you know, slowly starting your guy. But 65 pitches? Come on, man. Come on. You know, like there's a reason why everyone in baseball kind of feels like a little bit of a pussy these days. And because you're asking for only 65 pitches is one of those reasons. What are you doing? Have him pitch. He's a pitcher. You got your biggest pitching prospect since what? Tim Lincecum, Madison Bumgarner, pitching pretty well in his major league debut, and you still managed to burn 5 relievers behind him? Like, what are you doing? You had Walker, Jackson, both Rogers twins, and Duvall, and you know things are going well when Duvall is giving up he's blowing saves and taking losses, and that happened last night in Philadelphia. Camilo Duvall gave up a 2-run single. And if the Giants lose to the Phillies this afternoon, Broomhilda will be coming. It's been a terrible stretch of baseball at the most vital point of the entire season. So things ain't good in Giants land right now. Alex Pavlovich said that the only Giants left-handed starters to hit 97 miles an hour in the last decade were Carlos Rodon and Kyle Harrison. Rodon got 11 swinging strikes with a fastball against a really good lineup. He topped out at 97.6, and again, that's all really good. And he did have a lot of good Philadelphia hitters swinging through fastballs that they were not catching up with. He can really pitch. So let him. Let him. Look, you can't even explain to me how this team is going about evaluating its young players. You can't make it make sense. You can't. By the way, Philadelphia has now increased its lead to 4 games over the Giants in the National League wildcard race. The Giants have lost 12 of their last 16. They're behind the Cubs and the Diamondbacks again. And in a tie with the Reds, who will be on the schedule as early as next week, they're 4th in the National League wildcard standings, they were leading those just a heartbeat ago. So it has been a massive regress. And when I said this is the most important stretch of the season, they decided to just poop themselves. Michael Lorenzen goes against Alex Cobb today. At least you got Cobb on the hill. It's a 105 start in Philadelphia. But look, this team has brought up every young player it thought could help them. And they're now realizing these young players aren't half as helpful as you hoped them to be, as they projected out to be. But for Patrick Bailey, I don't think they have found a cornerstone anywhere. They really haven't. Let's be totally honest. And Wade Meckler, good Lord, he's getting picked off over at first base. Every bit about him looks uncomfortable. Even his I'm trying to be hipster cool with this mustache looks forced at this point. Wade Meckler has had about a first week in Major League Baseball as a prospect can have. And what I don't understand is how's that guy given the fast track? Like, what did Wade Meckler do to appeal to the stingiest, most particular general manager in all of Major League Baseball? I don't get it. What is Farhan looking at before he makes a choice to start a major league clock, and why did Meckler qualify for it? You had Ramos playing really good baseball, but not coming up, and I know that he was on the IL, but that didn't have as much to do with it, with how much Farhan likes to play the waiting game with some of these guys. But the one guy he rushes through looks as bad as anybody. I don't get it. How did he qualify for major league chances when other players will rake for a month or two in minor league baseball and still not get a shot? How the Giants go about evaluating their players is a legitimate question, and why they decide to elevate some and not others, it doesn't make an awful lot of sense. It's weird. They've given a lot of opportunity to young guys that they deemed are so important to the future that they couldn't be traded. And the bad news is, like most Giants ballyhooed prospects, the minute you get to know them, you start saying, well, this isn't very good. This isn't very good. Beyond Patrick Bailey, all of your prospects, it's not very good. Kyle Harrison, okay, that was good. He can strike guys out. But he is exactly who he was in the minor leagues. He's a strikeout pitcher with an ERA over 4. So, good luck with all of it. Good luck with all of that. I read a story that I wrestled with how much of it I really wanted to share with you. Because John Fisher has actually given the Las Vegas Journal-Review an interview. What a dickhead. Basically, he all the sell the team chants and all those T-shirts just went in one ear, right out the other, and he's got evil ears, and, a man without shame cannot be shamed. And John Fisher is sports evil through and through and through. I wanted to read some of his finally on-the-record statements to you, but they are the most empty, can't be trusted, bullshit-flavored statements that are filibustering. I mean, it's Dave Cavil empty, devoid of anything other than overt PR attempts with a new media and a new city that John Fisher's participating in here. You can't believe anything he says. He said that they've lost $40 million. I don't believe you. I don't believe John Fisher or any number that they use to represent themselves in any way. I will say this, John Fisher used the phrase super excited as often as a teenager talking about prom. We're just super excited. We're super excited. We're super excited. He's super excited. How old are you? A lot of flowering things were said about Oakland and, they tried to stay and he really enjoyed working with mayors. None of you know you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't enjoy any aspect of it, which is why you were absent through all of it. And you were absent through all of it by design to make sure that it all went nowhere fast. There was never a legitimate effort by the A's to end up at Howard Terminal, not for a single solitary second. They offered up a poison pill, dead on arrival deal that was supposed to land dead on arrival poison pill without John Fisher there to hammer a single thing through. The only hope any A's fan has is that other baseball owners vote no on relocation, and they won't, or John Fisher is caught in bed with an 11-year-old, which he won't be. There's really nothing to stop them from moving to Vegas now. And that guy stinks, and I hope the whole thing's a failure, and I really do. I hope that Vegas buys in and instantly gets snake bit. Instantly. I will be so rooting for every element of that organization to fail miserably for the rest of my life as long as John Fisher is involved. And the truth is, I really think John Fisher is looking to get his new deal done for the real estate that he wants to sell off in Las Vegas and watch him sell 4 or 5 years down the road in Las Vegas. When everyone in Las Vegas is like, oh, this guy sucks. He realizes, yeah, the only way for me to really be beloved here is to sell now. I hate him. I absolutely hate him. Wish bad things for all the Fishers. I bet that's playing well over on the chat right now. I bet that's playing very, very well. Hey, Otis. Hey, Damon. Hey, Otis. Good to see you. Hey, everyone. Drew down for a little hump day action. Thank you so much. We will be hopping into Club Plus to see what you're all talking about in just a little bit. Saw another story that I thought was kind of interesting about just a tough situation, which every A's fan is in. Stanford's Troy Taylor, Stanford's new head coach. You know, I was reading in the San Francisco Chronicle, Connor Letourneau penned an article about how this guy might have the toughest job of any first-year head coach in the country. And I thought about it, and he might be right. Like, in addition to overseeing a massive, massive rebuild that Stanford now has to go through, he's got to field questions about a future which he doesn't have the answers to. One of my favorite sayings about Stanford football is people, wanted to make fun. Like, I love the whole intellectual brutality thing that Harbaugh crafted, that Shaw perfected there for a few years. And there are some really smart football players out there who are also outstanding recruits, elite level athletes. And the old saying was simply, if you're smart enough to get a scholarship at Stanford, there's no way you're going to be dumb enough to turn that down. I always loved that. I seriously did. I always loved that saying. How are you going to get any major recruit that is capable of qualifying for Stanford's incredibly strict admissions process to want to go to Stanford now? If football is something they're considering part of their lives as well as the academic process. Look, if all you wanted to do was play football because you liked it and you were good enough to do so in college, but you're also smart enough to go to Stanford to major in something else that is important to you, maybe you still go. But a full rebuild of a bad team that isn't going to take transfers, that isn't going to help name, image, and likeness, that isn't going to relax any admissions standards to get a single player in, that now can't even have a coach walk into a living room and tell you what the conference might be a year from now. Where's Stanford going to be? At the center of rebuilding a Pac ? Or in the Mountain West, or in the ACC, or what? Operating as an independent? What are you going to do? It's smart of any kid to be asking that question, and the smartest school in the country, it doesn't have an answer. It's going to be slim pickings in terms of success on the field at Stanford and at Cal for a while. I mean, Justin Wilcox has got to be on the phone with his agent saying, get me the hell out of here. I mean, if you are seriously a recruit considering Cal or Stanford, don't you have to be reconsidering that right now? You have no idea what the future holds for yourself going into college. The stability comes from the program you attach yourself to. Who's going to attach themselves to the two most unstable programs you're going to find in America? So it's a tough situation. A really, really tough situation. So there you go. Again, I'm not going to waste your time at all. An awful lot of TikTok going on for the San Francisco 49ers. Just get to the regular season as healthy as possible. Get Bosa in the tent and go play some football. That's where we are in that football season now. No more talk, no more preamble. 2 more practices left. Don't do anything at any of these practices to get anybody hurt. You go on the field, you see your starters flash for a minute in a preseason game on Friday against the Los Angeles Chargers. You get everyone that matters off the field as fast as possible. Get Nick Bosa into camp, and that's that. Giants, quit pissing down your own leg. Your offensive plan, Farhan, just gets destroyed by good offense, by good teams. So, take some notes, buddy. Take some notes. The way you think is a good way to win what one time proved to be 107 games gets crapped on by superior teams who've got real major leaguers. You got a formula that might get you through a regular season that will absolutely get you beaten in the postseason. And you can go back to the very dawn of Moneyball. This experiment has been run for 30 frickin' years now. It could get you to the postseason, but it certainly won't get you through it. And in the Giants' case, again, facing real competition, it's not getting them anywhere but into that loss column more often than they want to be. Pac-12, everything remains an unmitigated mess of the first degree. John Fisher and Lou Wolf, both of them, screw them both. There's just completely, there's a reason why John Fisher doesn't talk to the media. It's because he talks like a teenage girl. I'm super excited about Las Vegas. We're super excited about a new stadium. We're super excited. What are you, clown? I'm going sip of the day right there. Hopefully you had the over today. I didn't look. But we are going to get into Club Plus. We're going to do it right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast, whether you are watching on YouTube, it's great to have you here. Make sure you subscribe. Please hit that like button and get ready for a little clubbing, because that's what we're doing right now. I just want to remind you that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome into the club. What's going on? This is Chaos Music Says DB. Hello, that's me. Those are my initials. Thank you very, very much. Beautiful in downtown San Francisco. Again, if it's beautiful at my house, downtown's just got to be banging. How about this? Show number 99, RIP Cougar Rebel. You are right about that. Your count is correct, which means show number 100 will be served a little bit different tomorrow. It's going to be me and Jillian just talking to you, thanking you, telling you a little bit about what we've been through, our story, and hopefully that appeals to you. This is why it's called Damon Bruce Plus. Tomorrow will be a day where we serve more plus than sports. Thank you very, very much. Oh, True Blue Forever saying, Damon, you're effervescent. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Effervescent sounds like a word Ray Ratto would use. Ray is not necessarily bubbly or effervescent, and he's not coming in for show number 100. So I don't know what he's effervescent about right now. People saying hello to each other. Chef A, hello. You want to get effervescent? Yeah, Jack, dude, Jack. So Jack didn't throw hands, but he did hit a kid with a water bottle. So that's we keep on getting stories about that. Again, there's a part of me as a father that wants to instantly correct that behavior. There's another part of me as a father that also wants to encourage it. So that's the yin and yang of fatherhood. Jack throwing hands, dude. I'm telling you, it's not even Jack throwing hands you got to worry about. It's Ozzy, who just turned 2 yesterday. By the way, Jack's birthday is on Tom Brady's birthday. Ozzy's birthday is on Bill Parcells' birthday. I like that. Ozzy is stronger at 2 than Jack is at 4. There's going to be a point where younger brother is taking out older brother. We will be encouraging that. Got to put up those dukes. JB, hey, you got to shiv someone first day of daycare. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's great. Yeah, kids shanking each other with sharpened toothbrushes. All right. Again, a lot of niceties, lots of discussion of the word effervescent. All right. Here's Sven saying, hey, why did Kapler pull Kyle Harrison in 3 innings? Dude was out there killing it. Sorry for an off-topic question. That wasn't off-topic, Sven. We got right into that topic. Maybe you got there before I did. I don't know. I don't know. 65 pitches means you've broken a sweat. Now we're really into your start. If that is the finish line, I absolutely hate this regime and everything that it stands for. 65 pitches? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. I mean, eventually you got to start getting these guys off the bunny slope of Major League Baseball, right? I don't like it. I don't like it. 65 pitches. Come on. Baron Red says, Topo Chicho Strawberry Guava is addicting. Okay. All right. Could be a new sponsor. Hi, I'm Damon Bruce Plus for Topo Chicho. How's that Topo Chicho budget? I don't know. Our man Sporticus. Bosas have a track record of susceptibility to nicks and dings. Yes, they do. Yes, both Bosas do. So, yeah, the whole iron sharpens iron thing, you need to put one of your most important irons in the fire. Talking about Ariana Grande songs. I have no Ariana Grande knowledge to share or even contribute to that conversation. So we're going to keep on going. Drew Down saying, man, Uncle Boy sounds good. There you go. Go get yourself little Uncle Boys. In Seinfeld, guys hold out for less money. Yeah, isn't that what they did when they negotiated with NBC? Skills report. I do love a good Seinfeld reference. I do speak fluent Seinfeld, indeed. Rich Alexander says, if I worked at Bevmo and someone was talking about the Plus Army, I would think that they are nuts. Well, you got to explain to them what it is. You got to catch everybody up. We're not at the place where we're just assuming everyone is watching, but we'll get there eventually. The Lucky Luciano. Lucky, I don't think I've seen your name in here before. Lucky, good to see you. Kansas Market in San Francisco carries blackened whiskey. I think that's how you spell Carrie, like Carrie Bradshaw. You're maybe looking to go with the C-A-R-R-Y, but thank you very much. And go Kansas Market for carrying blackened whiskey. Again, it should be pervasive in San Francisco. I mean, as Metallica is. Otis Bird says the Giants are hitting a rough patch, but hopefully they can turn it once around once the schedule lightens up a bit. Look, but when the time the schedule lightens up a bit, you're starting to run out of games. I mean, how about this? any anticipation I had of maybe them being a surprise postseason participant have gone right out the window since the Tampa series. The Giants, I wanted to hold off on this. I wanted to be wrong about this. I really did. But there's an awful lot of false prophecy going on with the Giants. They're false prophets. You know what that Major League Baseball team is lacking? Major leaguers. Real, true, everyday player. I don't need a platoon to hit for me, major leaguer. That's what they need. And that's what they don't have enough of, almost by design by Farhan, which is why an awful lot of people are growing tired of this regime and the way it goes about business, which everyone knows, even if business goes well, you'll never be in the business of winning post-series or postseason series by running out a whole bunch of can only hit this one type of pitcher guys. You don't have that luxury. You don't have the luxury to let the math work out over the length of an entire year. You got 4 games to do something, and here they are. You're going to need major leaguers to do that. 65 pitches in a debut. It's just gross. Sporticus, again, asking the legit questions. Why are the Giants using Little League pitch count limits? 3 innings for Nolan Ryan. Let pitchers pitch. Look, here's the deal. I don't want the Giants to return to the Nolan Ryan era of 135, 150 pitches being normal. And I'd like them to leave the era of 65 and we've seen enough. Again, the whole point of bringing up your top prospect, you'd think, to make his first major league start is to, give him a trial by combat level start, which he was fighting very well through, and then give your bullpen a little day off. They still burnt 5 dudes from the bullpen. Or is it 6? 6 guys from the 5, 6 guys, whatever it was. On a day they're calling up their top prospect and he's pitching well, but you only leave him out there for 3. I don't get it. And even if they could explain it all to me, and they had a whole bunch of numbers that they believed were true and proprietary, and this is what we all believe in, my follow-up would be, well, you guys think like total pussies. I mean, I don't know how to say it. Like the number one goal of any day of athletic competition can't be, and no one is allowed to maybe get hurt. Again, if you could predict injuries with any true regularity that mattered, no one would ever get hurt. You can't. You can't predict it. You can't. Again, if you're just, the reason why everyone is a baby is because they've been babied from the moment their career begins. It's just ridiculous. RIP Cougar Rebel say the Giants as a whole organization from top to bottom, a little bit of a disaster right now. Yeah, they are a little bit of a disaster right now. Because a whole bunch of the kids who were, felt like difference makers have then proven themselves to not be difference makers really at all. And as a matter of fact, these guys might not be that good either, except for Patrick Bailey. So Golden State Lakota says something here that I don't even know, Cap sucks. I don't even know if it's Cap doing it. I don't think you can blame Kapler for this. I think the problem is Farhan. Farhan, the way he thinks, the way he goes about just issuing marching orders that clearly, Kapler has to follow in order to keep the job. He'll be the first fall guy. But I don't like the way they go about developing. I don't understand how they're identifying players that they believe are now ready for the next moment. I don't get it. I don't get it. How did you look at Wade Meckler and say, yeah, let's keep doing that? How did you look at his first 3 games and say, yeah, let's keep doing that? How does a guy who is clearly not ready get like infinite rope, and other guys who have had better performances early in their major league careers get sent down and really not heard from again? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, you can't explain Wade Meckler to me. Veggie Delight. You talking about the sandwich at Ike's? Veggie Delight says Slater is a superstar pinch hitter. No, he's not. That's the thing. Yeah, he's had a couple of pinch hits, but he's no superstar at all. To think that there is a guy that we absolutely could not move at the trade deadline. By the way, you're going to be facing a guy tonight that was moved at the trade deadline. And then through what, a no-hitter, Michael Lorenzen, as soon as he gets to Philadelphia? Major leaguers, proven major leaguers for promised minor league talent. I make that deal 9 out of 10 times. You got A.J. Pollock. Skills report saying they can't commit to one direction from week to week, from 1 week to next. Every player is on the edge. You never know who's going to be by your side. Constant moving parts does not team build. I agree with you. Lewis saying, had the Arrow sandwich for the second time already yesterday. Try the Florian. Do it. Try it. Try it, Lewis. You're going to like it. What's in the Arrow? It's basically a Wagyu pastrami sandwich with what he calls American dressing, not Russian dressing, but it's kind of like Russian dressing. Someone needs to start a GoFundMe campaign for John Fisher. No, what someone needs to do is start getting blackmail topics for other owners in Major League Baseball and make sure that they don't get approved. I mean, here's the thing. If the Milwaukee Brewers are saying we might move, if the Chicago White Sox are saying we might move, how could you in Las Vegas say, oh, yeah, we're so far down the road of business with the A's that we won't even bother calling them? And I wouldn't want what Oakland is going through to happen to any other city. But better them than us, right? I mean, I just get into business with the Fishers, Nevada. I freaking double dog dare you. Seriously, you'd think that, the very, very, very first John Fisher interview with years, this will be interesting. Nope. He proves himself ineffectual with every paragraph that you read. Like, there's a reason why he's like, we've been trying to get a stadium done for 20 years. Yeah. And the one thing that has been the constant in all of that is you, dickhead. You are the reason why things don't get done, John, because you're incapable of political will. You have no juice. You have no allies. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants to work with you. And you aren't half as rich as you pretend to be. They're awful. Talking a little bit about Stanford and Cal, Otis Bird says, intern, this is all bad for the Bay. I know college sports is not that big here in the Bay, but Cal football games are fun to attend. Stanford football games are cool too. Like, I don't know if I would go as far as to say Stanford football games are cool, but it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful stadium, and that's a nice place to go to a football game. You're going to have the whole place to yourself, basically. Cal football games are beautiful. I mean, truly picturesque. If I had to, put a postcard together about a beautiful college football stadium, Memorial Stadium over in Berkeley, Strawberry Canyon is as beautiful as it gets. It's gorgeous over there. They should have an incredible game day atmosphere. And sometimes they do. I've always said Cal is a sleeping giant waiting to happen, but they've never figured out a way to wake themselves up. It is a shame. Jillian's sick about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. RIP Cougar Rebel says that 2021 107 win season was kind of bad because now Farhan thinks he can build a winning roster this way. I think you're right. That's the thing. I really do. I think you're right. I think that was a level of positive feedback from an equation that I'd rather not see them run, which married Farhan to his equation that, again, could get you through a regular season, but will get you bounced from every postseason you've ever been in. And if you don't believe me, ask every element of the Moneyball Oakland A's how they've ever done. You know, the Tampa Bay Rays are very much a team that has seemed to marry the math to the underpaid roster a little bit better than the A's have. But what have the Tampa Bay Rays won ever? The answer is nothing. So, you know, there's an awful lot of the formula that they're using being spit out. RIP Cougar Rebel getting angrier and angrier as the show goes along. He's got a two-man rotation with the great Wade Meckler and AJ Pollock. Yeah, go and get those Los Angeles Dodgers. You got a 2.5-man rotation. Your top prospect is up here, but can't go more than 65 pitches. Wade Meckler gets picked off when he's not kicking the ball around for inside the park home runs in the outfield. And AJ Pollock shouldn't be anything but DFA'd, but, you know, he'll be coming back. It's nuts. Lucky Luciano. Club Plus, brought to you by Black & Whiskey, can be found at Kansas Market, located in San Francisco at 23rd and Kansas. There you go. Go ahead and pick it up from the Kansas Market. Shout out Kansas. I don't like this co-backup quarterback strategy. Reward someone for the backup role and call it a day. Well, that's the thing. If neither guy's really running away with it, maybe there's no reason to reward someone. You're still trying. Here's the deal. They're still trying to develop Lance, but you can't do that in real games because you can't waste real games on players you're developing at this point in time in your competitive life cycle if you're the 49ers. And here's the deal. I'm not going to be worried about backup quarterbacks. I'm just not. There's enough worry about a starting quarterback. You can't be worried about everything at all times in the quarterback room. I'm tired of it. Freaking tired of it. God, it really is something else. Oh, we're taking bets on Baby Fight Club. True Blue Forever. My money's on Ozzy. It's not a bad bet. If Kapler is out after this year, who's the next puppet for Farhan? I mean, I don't even think Kapler's going to be out this year. Gabe Kapler does everything the Giants want him to do, and that's just managed from Farhan's abacus. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Giants are really trying to do anything other than make as much money as humanly possible right now, and they keep down the major league salary, and they don't go for it because going for it would cost too much money, and they can sell "that's not how we do it" while they're doing it that way. Anything less than $15 million a year to $20 million a year, major league players at every position, is going to get you nowhere quickly. Major leaguers for your Major League Baseball team. This is a warped idea that I'm having. I can just feel it. Again, I've always thought that Farhan is good around the edges. I would want Farhan making the decisions on the, 18th through last man on the Major League roster. I'd like him operating on the edges of the 40-man roster. But I don't like Farhan putting together a starting lineup. I just don't. You know who does like what Farhan does with his starting lineups? All real contenders and opponents. They must love seeing those Giants lineups. Legends Pizza says, I agree with pitch count, but he's never pitched 60 in his career. Then that means he's not ready to be a Major League Baseball player. This whole, we don't let guys pitch over 65 pitches. What are you kidding me? I mean, stretch a guy out. How about this? If Kyle Harrison can't pitch more than 65 innings, don't buy that jersey because he's a short timer. Turn him into a closer. More than 65 pitches. What are you kidding me? You kidding me? I'd be mortified if my kid were starting a little league game and weren't given 65 pitches. Otis Bird, Wade Meckler, the Giants' version of Eric Sogard. Even Hunter Pence mentioned that Meckler reminded him of Sogard. Yeah, it's really not the company you want to be keeping in conversations. Oh, I got Disco Face. I'm glad you like Disco Face. Thank you very much. Fish and Chips, show number 99 indeed. And the only thing I can do is invite you all back for show number 100 coming up tomorrow with Jillian. We're going to be doing it. You can ask us any questions you want. We're going to be talking about what we've been going through, what it's like to find yourself laid off, the stress that actually puts on families and marriages, and how we've gotten through it. And if we can offer any advice for anyone else that's out there going through what we're going through, we'll be happy to, be a little, beacon of hope, whatever we are, in a world that is just, constantly kicking hardworking, good-working people in their teeth. Get yourself a real supportive partner. You cannot make a more important decision in your life than who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And, man, I made a good choice. I hope Jillian feels the same way. But I thank you all very, very much for watching today, for being a part of today. You have been a part of so many of these shows. I continue to see new names sprinkled in, a whole bunch of old names that I am, really, honestly, we consider you all friends and family at this point. Thank you so very much for all your support. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow for show number 100. And I want to remind you once again that on Friday, when we see 49ers and Chargers go final, join me back over here on the Plus. We are going to be doing 49er post-game, baby, for every game between now and wherever this season ends, no matter where it ends. We are going to be doing post-game for all the games, and we're really looking forward to all of that. 99 problems, but the Plus ain't one. That's a walk-off. Nice job, Drew Down. Thank you all so very, very much. And the only thing I got to remind you is that you don't need to go home. You all know that, but you can't stay here. Take care.